All right, welcome to the Let It Fly show. I am Michael Severe, joined by my co-host from a Creighton Blue Jay and Central Eagle, Josh Jones, three-time state champion, and of course, a guy who really likes to wear blue.
I do, man.
You like blue, right? It's a blue state. You hear that?
No, I was thinking about different reasons.
Okay. You heard it's a blue state, though, right?
It is.
It's because, they played 3 baseball games, Nebraska, Creighton, and the blue team won all 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what they call that?
Yeah.
That's a sweep.
And the way it's looking right now with the portal.
We're gonna get to that. The comparisons is. There was a friend of mine who's really into high school basketball, really into Nebraska, and we've been going back and forth on DMs about it.
Yeah.
And he's on my side, so I feel better because he's a true Nebraska basketball fan, and he's on my side. We'll get into that, though. We're, of course, recording from the world-famous Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District, downtown Omaha, right across the street from Steelhouse, just right around the corner from CHI. What used to be TD Ameritrade now is the Chuck Schwab over there, right in the middle of everything that's going on. And, of course, brought to you by Bud Light, which no matter where you are in the city, if you're here at Let It Fly, you're in your basement, you're hanging out with Josh, whatever you're doing, it is the thing to do while you're watching sports. And remember, easy drinking, easy buckets throughout Nebraska, easy to drink and easy to enjoy. We appreciate Bud Light being our presenting sponsor. This is our dish of the day.
I know, I kind of been looking at that the whole time.
It's a new menu item.
Man.
Street tacos.
Right.
They look good. And it looks like, as my friends say where I'm from, shrimps.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like shrimps.
You said it right.
Is it shrimps?
Yeah.
It looks like shrimps.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I moved to New Orleans, I probably was, I was 10.
Yeah.
My dad had just passed, and I moved to New Orleans. And somebody said shrimps, and I was like, no, it's shrimp.
Right.
And they're like, what? Where are you from?
Right.
Where are you from? Shrimp. You want to try a shrimp? You want to try one?
No, I'm going to just eat the whole thing.
I can't. Can I try one, though?
Go ahead.
I want to see how it goes, because it looks delicious. And again, these are new menu items. Berkshire, the convention's happening, Berkshire Hathaway.
Yep.
And so that brings, lots of money and a lot of people here.
Yeah,
and because of that, they have some new items.
Right.
So I'm gonna do a little.
Grab some napkins.
Mmm.
Yeah, we grab.
Oh my goodness.
Let me help you out here, man.
That's okay. I'll just lick on my fingers. No, give me that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. The great thing about Let It Fly, and I think you know this, is they care about having a very good menu.
Sure.
Not every sports bar.
Sure.
You care about TVs, and you care about having everything else right, but the food is the most important thing for me. And so that's.
What I like about Let It Fly is the portions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the food is great, but the portions are greater.
Because we're grown men.
And not even just that. It's just like you can feed a family of 4 off of an entree type portions big. I love it.
Well, definitely that nachos.
Yeah.
The nachos takes some serious work. So that's one of the new menu items. They also have a Cobb salad, which I'm a big fan of Cobb salad personally. Put a little egg on, a little bacon.
Yeah, me too.
Delicious. And then a couple other items as well, some spaghetti. Pesto spaghetti.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever seen at a sports bar.
Yeah, and I haven't ate that yet. That's next on my menu to get.
You're going to check that out.
Yeah.
So our guest this week is the man of the moment, soon to be married, but returning for his another year of trying to win the Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Ryan Kalkbrenner will join us.
That's going to be tight.
It is.
I can't wait to ask him. I got different type of questions.
Okay.
You know how, you be thinking things during the season, and then the season go away, and you really could ask him again, but it's not really necessary to ask him. I just feel like at this time, the questions I got are necessary to ask because Baylor's gone.
Yep.
Trey is gone.
Yep.
I want to know a couple of things.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking to him and asking him questions.
Because it was kind of a big five. Kaluma leaves, Nimhart leaves, Baylor graduates, Trey leaves to go to the NBA. You're left. You're by yourself.
Right.
All alone, no one to be with.
Right.
This weekend, Let It Fly, you have NBA basketball playoffs on the whole weekend. Tonight, as we're taping on Thursday, the Sixers play Game 6 against the Knicks.
It's been fun, man.
It's been crazy, man. How many games go down to either go to overtime or go down in the last couple of minutes in this playoffs? It's been almost every one.
Almost all of them, yeah.
Lakers are out.
Yeah. You happy about that?
I don't, I want whatever's best for I hope the league does well. And obviously the Lakers advancing, but you get matched up against Denver, you're not going to, there's nothing you can do.
Well, it ain't even just that. I mean, if you talking about the advancement of the league,
Yeah.
we was talking off camera.
Right.
You got Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
You got.
And they get Minnesota, Denver. That's your series starts on Saturday.
It's stars everywhere
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
This new generation of basketball is
Yeah.
low. And I honestly think that the 3-ball is like, it'll never be a thing of the past. But that 90s vibe is coming back.
You think so? That's very
People shooting jumpers.
physical, too.
People physical, people yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to modify some rules.
Yeah, and they did. So during the middle of the season, the expected points individually and team was as high as it's ever been. And so they got together and they're like, officials, you need to start letting contact happen so all these guys aren't going to the free throw line. And it changed. It changed for a lot of guys.
I mean, people start scoring like almost closer to the high 90s or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the high 90s, low 100s, yeah. Instead of the 130 to 125, yeah. So that's happened all weekend. And special treat, Cinco de Mayo's this weekend.
Canelo Munguia.
That's right. And Canelo, who
I'm locked in.
I just want Canelo to punch Oscar De La Hoya in the face. That's what I want to see. I don't care if he hits the guy who he's fighting. I want to see him punch Oscar. Oscar goes up there talking all that mess, and Canelo's sitting there. He knows Canelo can't knock him out. If you don't talk to a professional boxer the way that De La Hoya was talking to him.
But
De La Hoya's retired.
You're talking to the guy with the statue in front of
I don't care what kind of statue he's got. Right now, Canelo is the number one attraction in boxing until Mike Tyson fights Jake Paul or whatever. But no.
And I heard that's sanctioned.
It is sanctioned now to go in their records. So it is real. Here's what Let It Fly has for you. There's a Let It Fly Fiesta menu that's Sunday. You got the taco pizza. You got the Let It Fly nachos, of course, hangover burrito, huevos rancheros for your breakfast, Rosie's enchiladas.
Like a cuss word.
No, why are you cursing at me, man? Chiquilis, which is delicious as well, and Tres Tacos. So you have all that, plus a bunch of drinks, too. So it's a special menu for Sunday and Cinco de Mayo, so check that out as well. It'd be pretty awesome. So all our top stories is going to be portal because it just closed the 30th and then the 1st for graduate transfers. So you have Nebraska, and they know they got to go out and replace some guys, obviously. We just talked Creighton's got to go out and replace some guys. I'm going to start with Creighton, okay? Jemai Neal, who I saw in here. He was visiting with the coaches. They had the games up. He was talking. He stood up. I was like, he's about 6'6", for sure. 6'6", out of Phoenix, transferred from Arizona State. Now, he's not a great shooter, which is what what Creighton normally goes for. What do you think of his game?
What I think of his game?
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of the fact of different. I feel like, to me, how should I put this? I've been complaining about Creighton having a certain style of player.
So he's athletic.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's athletic. Okay, I got it.
We got an athlete.
I got it. They got a couple of those guys, yeah.
When I think about guys like him,
Yep.
and I'm not comparing him to player for player,
Yeah.
but you think about the Cam Whitmores.
Sure. Right.
You think about whatever UConn got. Like, I feel like in order for Creighton to get over the hump and get to that next level,
Yeah.
you need a certain type of guy. Keep that same energy, but like you need to add a little bit of seasoning to it.
I'm interested in seeing, now they're going to do some different things with the point guard, obviously Stephen Ashworth, and I want to see this kid initiate offense because really outside of Trey, and he wasn't overly explosive, outside of Trey, you really had no one who could just get the ball at the top of the key and initiate offense. He can initiate offense. He's not a great shooter, but he can get to the rack.
I like it. So, you're talking about like actually like running offense and facilitate, not making a play like a two guard.
Right, yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, I see, you see that a lot more now in the league. You set that high ball screen. Whoever gets the ball at the top gets to make those decisions. I think he'd be pretty good at that. The other guy who is really good at getting to the rack and getting buckets is Pop Isaacs, who is a transfer in from Texas Tech. Now, he's the highest ranked guy in the portal of any of the guys we're going to talk about, both Nebraska and Creighton. He's 79th in the CBS, and he's 127 with the Athletic when they rank all of them. 15.8 points. Finished 6th in the Big 12 in overall scoring. Started all 34 games. He gets buckets, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, I always wonder. I wonder, like, with the new additions, how is it going to? It's going to gel great. Coach,
I think so. And you got freshmen too coming in.
Yeah, but I want to. But the style. Like, what type of we got Kalkbrenner coming back. You got these new athletes on the wing.
Yep.
Hopefully, you got a guy that can facilitate.
Got Jason Green at the 4.
Exactly. Yeah. I wonder, is it going to be the same? Like, the question that I kind of want to just talk about is, like, there was points in the game where you just didn't get the ball.
Oh, yeah. Multiple possessions.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
That UConn game that they lost.
Yeah.
I don't think he only had like 7 or 8 shots.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
But my thing is, to
Yeah.
really make plays on the fly.
Yeah.
But what's our focal point? Are we going to stick to what we like, to what we know, and we just enhance positions by athleticism?
Right.
Or are we going to key on
Yeah.
coming back?
I will say neither one of these guys, if you'd just given me their stats, I would say they're not Creighton guys because they don't shoot the three well enough. They're not good enough shooters based on the stats. Right. Now, they got good coaches here. You can coach them up. Trey Alexander went from a very average three-point shooter to a pretty good three-point shooter. Right. So maybe they can help them do that. That would work as well. And then also Frederick King's back.
Yeah, I know.
Fred King's back, man.
I mean, he's another one I want to just kind of talk to. I know when he left, I seen originally when he left.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, okay, like he didn't get no burn.
Sure, makes sense. Yeah.
R2 really kind of like illuminated his life, like the way he come off the screen and roll, get downhill, throw a lob or whatever. But now, like with Kalk coming back, I mean, a lot can change in a year. But what's the plan? What's the play? So.
Yeah. Well, I think Kalk's out there. Let's bring him in. We'll interview him, and then we'll get to what Nebraska's doing. Sure. Nebraska's ranked pretty high in terms of where the different groups have them as overall portal class. But remember, it's 5 guys. None of those guys are very highly ranked. Just the Griffins kid out of Rutgers. Exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah, we'll bring Kalk in. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Ryan Kalkbrenner. Then we'll get into the Nebraska portal editions as well here on the Let It Fly show.
On a Sunday. Gotta go. I forgot the sausage. You guys ready to eat? There you go. On a Sunday.
All right, welcome back to the Let It Fly show. Michael and Josh here, joined by the man of the moment and soon-to-be married man, Ryan Kalkbrenner, joining us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Feeling good.
Do you really gotta cancel the honeymoon or postpone the honeymoon, or you just joking on?
No, we were just joking.
Okay,
on that.
good.
We still don't have one.
Yeah, I'm assuming that wasn't very funny. I'm just like, she nodded on that, definitely. So talk about the decision to come back, man.
Yeah, as we got through the process after the season, after my agents got started talking to some teams, just what teams wanted to see, what they wanted to see me improve in. I think we felt like we needed like a real full summer to work on it because I haven't had a full summer to really work on myself and changing my whole body really in college because I had the draft process last year, the knee injury the year before, the USA basketball the year before. So we just thought the opportunity to like spend a whole summer actually getting better would be huge going into next year.
I laugh inside joke-wise. I'm like, when we talked in Mac office, they probably talking about all that type of stuff. I remember I had a joke with him when I first met him and was like, man, if you just do this, that,
just
that,
this,
you're out of here.
Right.
Mac was like, if you ever listen to him, you won't be. But you remember that, though.
Yeah. Take the advice.
But no, in all seriousness, though, let's just kind of recap the last season. I mean, obviously you didn't. The way I see in the connotation, like your goal is win national championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So didn't accomplish that goal. Talk about that game against Tennessee. Like, reflect on that. Like, just what's your overall thoughts about that game?
I mean, it was just a little bit of a tough game in the sense that all the tough shots they were hitting against us in that game, they were missing all those the next game in Purdue.
That's crazy, yeah.
And I guess that's just kind of how basketball goes sometimes.
It's a bad 6 minutes. You guys had a bad 6 minutes.
Yes, one bad stretch. And, I mean, they're good players, so, they're going to make a couple of those tough shots. They just made more than we thought they would.
Yeah.
And this is how basketball goes. So, I mean, you think about the season as a whole, you're not going to be disappointed with how it went. We still had a really successful year and did a lot of amazing things, but that game was tough for sure.
Go back to what the NBA teams are telling you, because obviously the game, I was joking the other day, if this was 1993, you're a top 10 pick because they were valuing what your skills were as a shot blocker. You can step out and hit a shot occasionally. You obviously 69% shooter under the basket. But now the game changed so much. What are they telling you got to do to be able to take in this era to play in the NBA?
Just be more physically dominant and like more consistent with how I'm running. I got tired sometimes in the games this year. I'm running.
Bro.
You're playing 38 minutes, 36 minutes.
I mean, you still got to have a good running form, but they just want to see me take the next step, developing physically, just strength, conditioning, running form, speed, all that.
So not stretching out and being like a stretch five, not that.
Well, continuing to do that, but I think I showed that enough this year to where they thought they could work with it.
Work with that,
Yeah, but if I'm coming back, they're going to want to see it improve more since it's a year removed now.
Sure.
So this is just a personal question. I was telling Michael that I felt like even though the guys on your squad like got it going, there were stretches where there was nothing going and they didn't go to you. Did you ever feel that type of way, or was that just something that like people just key in and saw on their own, or like did y'all ever have talks about that during the season? Sometimes it seemed like the team went away from you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we talk about like establishing me in the post, but sometimes you get in the game. I mean, we're all almost unselfish to a fault because we get in the game and we're like, okay, we don't really care who's shooting, and we're just playing our offense, playing our game, and all of a sudden someone gets lost, and that's not necessarily anyone's fault or a bad thing, but sometimes that happens because we all wanted just to get the best shot and not necessarily taking the shot ourselves. So, I mean, sometimes that happened for me or some other people during the season. I didn't really think about it too much.
I respect that.
Yeah, Ryan Kalkbrenner joining us on Let It Fly show. Did anybody reach out portal-wise for you, trying to see if you wanted to go someplace else?
I mean, I wasn't really looking at
I know. You have kind of that resume where they look and say, okay, look, we can give you more money to come here and spend a year, opposed to going to the NBA. Did anybody reach out like that?
I mean, if they did try to reach out to it, I didn't hear it because I wasn't really looking at anything. I was always come back to Creighton or go to the NBA.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Respect. Have you had an opportunity to talk to Trey? He decided to, try to take that next step. Felt like Creighton took him as far as he could or whatever. Any conversation with him about his next steps? And what's just some feedback from you on conversations had?
I mean, I've talked to him. I texted with him a little bit. I didn't really talk to him about NBA stuff. I mean,
sure.
I just love the dude, so I'm not really just going to talk to him about, what's the next step looking for you. I'm like, how you doing? Like, what you up to? Like, you doing good? You enjoying your time and all that? So that's what we talked about. I didn't really talk to him too much about NBA. Of course, I'm going to be following him and cheering for him wherever he's at, so I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
I was actually filling in on Sportsmanlike Conduct when Mac had that tweet about needing him to play against Kansas, right?
Oh, yeah.
And John, who's the voice of Creighton basketball, says, that doesn't seem like a Mac kind of tweet. I'm assuming it was obviously planned out, right? You tell him I'm coming back, he's going to make the joke.
Yeah, no, Mac wanted to do that. He thought it'd be funny. I think him and Coach Self have a good relationship, so he thought it'd be funny to play off that. And I was like, let's do it.
That was pretty funny.
Sure. What about some of the new
And they
guys?
do need you for that.
Have you met some of the new guys that's coming on to the team?
I was here when Jemiah was on his visit, so I got to meet him a little bit.
Did you guys run it all, or just did he get a part of practice, or can you do that this time of year?
He got to play like 2-on-2 and just like a workout sort of thing. And I didn't play. I just came up to watch, hang out, and be around. But as far as the freshmen, just seen them around on visits in past years, but not at this spring. But no, I'm looking forward to getting to know all those guys.
No doubt about that. I imagine so. We always talk about unfinished business, right? In your mind, can you give us a couple things that fit into that unfinished business here at Creighton?
Yeah.
I mean, winning.
Yeah,
like we've done some pretty decent winning, making Sweet 16s and Elite 8s, but like that's what I'm here to do, and I want to go further than that.
So he has the opportunity to be the number 2 overall scorer in the history of Creighton. Comes back and has an average season, not even a great season. Average season, he can do that. Right. I think you're like 306 points, something like that. He has a chance. Obviously, he's already number 2 in blocks, right, behind Benoit. He only needs 106.
Legend, bro.
I mean, you had 107 last year, I think.
I don't know.
John Bishop was going through these numbers the other day. So you got 100. You get 107. You pass Benoit to be the all-time shot blocker, and you have the ability to be, if he continues where he is, in the top 5 all-time shooting percentage in college basketball history. How quickly do we put your jersey up? I mean, is it 1 year out or 2 years out? When did your jersey go up?
Hey, no, and that ain't no joke.
I'm not playing.
No, that's facts, bro.
You went to the Elite
If
Eight.
you don't stand on it, I will.
Yeah, I mean, all of those stats. I mean,
I think if it took Doug 10 years, I probably need 50 years.
I think part of it was his dad holding it back. I think that's what it was.
His dad be hating.
His dad be hating on him. I think he was pulling it back.
No, that's cool. Like, I mean, as I talk to you now and you saying that type of stuff, I don't think I ever took a step back and recognized, I see your impact, defensive player of the year and all that type of stuff. But from where you started to the things he just ran off, what does that do for your mind? Not in the standpoint of how does it make you feel. Talk about where you started.
Yeah.
Max said you couldn't run up and down the court.
No, I couldn't.
That's what he says, yeah.
As a freshman, I'd check in, get up and down 3 times. I'd be like, I need a sub. I need to get out of here, man. I need to get out. So it's crazy, thinking back as a freshman, I was just trying to figure out a way to get in the rotation, and then you kind of just get lost in working hard and trying to do the right things and trying to get better, and all of a sudden you look up and you become a decent player, and it's like it's kind of crazy, especially like I could have never told you I was going to do all this when I first came here.
Man.
Yeah.
Who's some of the people that like along the journey in a way, like player wise, even coaches? There's been like a lot of coaches changes that. Like, I know it's a collective thing with the team, but who are some of the people specifically? Like
Jeremy.
Instance,
Jeremy.
Like Charles Barkley always talk about Moses Malone.
Oh, yeah. Influence him, yeah.
Like Moses Malone did for Charles Barkley to make him be who he became.
Told him he was fat.
He did. No,
Seriously, he did.
He said, "You fat.
You fat,
and he
dude."
said, "Let's lose 10 pounds."
Yeah.
They lost 10. They
Lost
lost
10 more.
up to
Yep.
50.
Yep.
You know, like who was that guy for you that like
Inspired you?
Yeah, turn that light on for you.
I think from like a player standpoint, like I've been so lucky to have a ton of great teammates, and it was more like a collective effort. Like my freshman year, CB and Jacob Epperson were great. Like
Epperson, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he was awesome. He's basically like another coach on the sidelines because he was there playing. But I could go up to those two and ask him anything while I was still trying to learn the system and all that. And honestly, Keyshawn, my next year was huge. Yeah, he really pushed me. Because I remember I just talked to Coach Jalen yesterday about this, how like we came into the summer and he was kicking my butt for the first few weeks. And then all of a sudden something clicked in me, and then I was kicking his butt for a little bit, and then it just went back and forth. So those guys have been huge. For coaches, Casey Matthews was huge. He was really big for me when I was trying to figure out some mental stuff for the game. I would get in my head so much, and he helped me out a lot with that. And then, oh man, I list off all the coaches if I wanted to.
And then obviously Jeremy getting you in the program and getting you eating right,
huge.
Sleeping, lifting.
Yeah, but Jeremy, Jalen, Coach Huss, Coach Lusk. I mean, Lusk recruited me. I lived with them during COVID because you couldn't be on campus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Lusk.
Lusk. Yeah, that's cool.
No, those guys are big time.
bad.
That's awesome. Ryan Kalkbrenner joining us on Let It Fly show. How long you been married?
Since 2018.
All right, I've been married 20. You don't make a lot of big decisions once you get married without your spouse, obviously. What was the conversation with Rachel about this? How much did she input, especially when she's a basketball player and she understands the athleticism part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so awesome having her. Like, she knows the game and knows, like, all that stuff. So it's easy to, like, have a conversation and not worry about trying to, like, explain stuff or, like, not think it's coming across the right way because she gets it. So she, like me, really trusts our agent and, like what he's hearing and what he thinks. He's been around forever. So when he's had a phone call with us and explained the whole thing, sat us down, talked about all of it, and it was great having Rachel like talk and bounce ideas off and figure it out. So she was great.
So when you made the decision, did you guys like go out to eat, just celebrate it all? What'd you do?
Just tweet.
Just like,
I don't know, because it kind of like came together slowly. So I don't know if there's one moment where we were like, okay, it's like, now we're coming back. Like, it came together pretty slowly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about you watch the NBA now, you see what's going on, the new faces and new players and all that type of stuff. Who would you model your NBA game after, or who's somebody that you look up to?
I think my comparison right now is probably like Brooke Lopez.
That's what's up.
That's pretty good.
Because Anthony Edwards just killed his favorite player. Dunked on KD.
Oh, yeah.
So you can get a chance to dunk on him, too. No, because obviously he's a really good three-point shooter, and he built that. He wasn't a shooter, and he built it.
Yeah, he didn't shoot at all when he first got in with the Nets, and now it's almost what he does.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty cool. What about Fred King coming back? That's pretty cool. We thought he was gone.
I thought he was gone, and then he decided to come back. So I'm going to love having him around for another year. He's one of my best friends, so it's going to be awesome. I'm going to try to help him develop and continue to develop because he's really got a lot of potential. He's got it. He just got to put the last finishing touches on. He'll be amazing.
Have you caught up with Baylor at all since he's done and trying to transition?
We've been working out together practically the past few weeks because I thought I might be going pro or preparing for combine and all that. So Jeremy had me and him on the same workout schedule and all that stuff. Nice. So I've been working out with him the past few weeks. He looks really good. He's gonna do great in the NBA.
Yeah. We talk about how much you developed on the court. how much you think you developed as an interview subject? I mean, we interviewed you a couple of years ago, or how do you think you've come along in your skills?
If you interviewed me as a freshman, you would ask me a question. I'd be like, yes. Next question.
How'd you develop?
You used to be like that. You're right.
Yeah, you couldn't get a word out of me.
Yeah.
I'm sure on my visit, all the players thought I was weird because I didn't talk.
So how did that turn? I mean, you're a good interview. How did that turn?
I don't know. I just got.
Did Rob Anderson help you at all?
No. I'll tell you. Put the camera. No.
I just got more comfortable and started growing up. That's part of the great part of college. You just get more mature and get more comfortable and confident in yourself. And I've done a lot of that.
And you met Rachel, and she fixed you.
And I didn't talk when we first started dating.
Oh,
either.
I can't imagine.
And shout out to Rachel for staying with me there.
Yeah.
Right.
What was your first date? You remember?
Actually, the Dan and Shay concert when they came a
Oh,
few years
yeah.
ago.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Tequila.
Yep, they came and played basketball in our gym, and Rachel played 3-on-3 with them and got some tickets from
wow.
them. And
You won. You must have won. All right.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Because I ain't giving you tickets if you lose.
That's a good story. Not everybody has a good
that's a
first
good
date
one.
story. Not everybody has a good one. That's
That is a really
pretty
good
solid.
one.
Yeah, that's pretty
Also,
awesome.
just the concert that just happened. How legendary is it to have a
Guys wearing your
that
jersey.
was so cool.
That was really cool.
The last person I heard of something like that was Lil Wayne wearing Skylar Diggins' jersey.
Oh yeah,
On the
yeah.
concert.
He was trying to hit on her.
Probably so. That's probably so.
Before we let you go, 'cause I know you got to run, and I know you've gotten better as a 3-point shooter. But in the offseason, how many are you going to take? Like, is there a number that you want to take? 500? Is there a number you want to take every day or every week? No, I mean to get ready, like to get ready for next year.
Shouldn't he shoot 5 threes?
Oh, at least, yeah, sure.
I don't know if there's a specific number. I mean, the big
1,000,
thing
bro.
for me, like, is I could shoot 1,000 threes really confidently because I'm just standstill, like, in
Sure.
practice. I got to get used to, like, because I do so much other stuff on the court. I got to run and do this,
come
run
out
and do
with the
that, and
screen.
then
You
do a
folks are not
shot.
getting tired.
Right, man.
They must have emphasized that, like, #1 on the draft.
Do not get tired.
Get in better shape.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you taking
I
the time.
know, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
This
I'm happy
team
for you,
team's
bro.
got a lot of
Appreciate
potential,
it.
especially with the guys coming in the
Yes.
portal.
You coming back. I don't know what that was, but
I hope
You
everything's
man, bro.
okay.
Appreciate
Good to
it.
see you, man.
Hey, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks a lot. Congratulations on the wedding, too. All right,
you.
thanks. All right, welcome back to Let It Fly Show. We appreciate Ryan Kalkbrenner for coming in. And we mentioned those numbers that John Bishop had. I mean, he's not obviously going to catch he's not going to catch McDermott, right, in terms of scoring. But number 2 overall in the history of the program, if he can get to that, if he passes Benoit Benjamin, a number that I never thought anybody would get. Benoit did it in 3 years, but it would take 4 years for Kalk to get it. But still, I mean, and then the percentages, the shooting percentage, I mean, we joke about it, but you look 10 years down the road,
You're a legend.
he's a legend. You put his number up.
I don't disagree with you.
You know who needs to be up there, who's not up there?
Rodney Griffin.
And Nate Funk.
Yeah,
Nate Funk was the first guy I remember. First guy I remember thinking, oh, okay, this guy can hoop.
To him, he just really didn't care about basketball.
Really?
He was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his passion.
Yeah, he was naturally good, man. He was a good shooter. All right, let's talk about Nebraska's portal guys, because they got 5 in the class. Like I said, ranked pretty high. Gavin Griffins is really the highest ranked guy out of Rutgers. We mentioned him before. 6'8", the swingman, played his true freshman year, so that means he has 3 years left. He's the one guy out of the 5, and I'll say right away, that I look at and I say, okay, he has potential, I think, to be good in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but I think like you want somebody to be good like right away, dominant impact. I just feel like he's a guy where like it might take him some time to get acclimated. He'll be an asset to replace somebody, but I don't think.
Well, I think he's a rotational player for sure. I don't think he's a starter
That's what I'm trying
right
to say.
away as a sophomore, but he is the one guy in the group that I look at.
One of the better ones.
I think he's out of the 5 they brought in, and they all do different things. He's the one guy that I could say he has the potential to where I could say, okay, he's going to be a starter. He could play for a couple years. He's going to score 15 to 20 points a game. All the rest of them. So the other guy was Connor Isagian, the kid out of Wisconsin, right? Was all freshman. Then last year, big step back. Back was bothering him. Didn't shoot the ball as well. Because he averaged almost 12 points his freshman year, and then last year dropped all. I think he averaged like 3.5. I know he was kind of banged up, but watching it, and I get to see him play at least twice against Nebraska, and I saw him play a number of times. I didn't ever say, oh yeah, that's a kid that Nebraska needs to go and bring in. I didn't see that.
No.
And he's not ranked. So they ranked 170 players, the Athletic did, in their portal guys. He didn't get ranked.
I know.
So, and I didn't mention it, but Griffin's was 128 on their list. Yep. So then you got Andrew Morgan, who now, after today's news, we're taping on Thursday, rink mass, got a bad knee. He's taking a medical red shirt this year. He's not going to play. Andrew Morgan is like a generic version of rink mass. He's not as good as rink mass. Just shoot the three. Rink mass on a good day could get you 30. Andrew Morgan, I don't think at this level is going to be that guy, but he'll get you some minutes.
My question is, what is it about Lincoln that doesn't allow them to bring the main attractions? I mean, there's not a lot going in Omaha, but Creighton basketball lands.
I know.
Why can't?
I think part of it's winning, Josh. I think part of it is knowing you're going to go someplace. And yes, the NIL is going to be good. Yes. And the facilities are going to be good. Yes. But I also want to go someplace and win. And outside of last year, Nebraska did very well to get to the tournament and lost in the first game. But talk about Creighton winning. Talk about Nebraska winning. Is it really a competition?
True.
It isn't. So I think that's the biggest thing for me. Because they both have money to pay the guys.
That's true. Because you're right. The winning was more so a story of rooting for Nebraska.
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't like, oh, man, program's going to go up from here.
Well, yeah, you'd hope that would cause some really good portal guys to go, I'm going to Nebraska. Right. But they got turned down by a lot of people. Now, the other guy they got brought in, there's a couple seniors now that are just this 1 year. Right. So Raleigh Worcester from Utah, probably going to be a point guard. He's like an 8-point-a-game guy, okay shooter. 32% from three, which is not good in college basketball now. Not now. Yeah. And that's who he is. Again, not ranked in any of the portal lists.
Did he take a lot, or is it just...
No, he took, from what I saw, it was like about 4 or 5 a game. It wasn't a whole lot. Yeah, it wasn't a lot. He played a lot of minutes. Well, I surprised, you know how the way they lay it now, the minutes over here, games played, minutes, and then all the stats, and at the end they got your points. Right. And I looked at his minutes, and I was going across, I'm like, well, he's averaging at least 12, 13, and it was 8. It was 8. It was 8. And I was like, it was 8. So I was like, yeah. And then the other guy they brought in is...
Okay, so he didn't take that many.
He didn't take a ton, and he's a point guard. And they didn't have that last year. They didn't have a true point guard. So that's nice. But he's also not, I believe, in the Big Ten, your point guard has got to be a clutch shooter from three. He needs to be. Obviously, Tomonaga's gone, so you lose that. You are bringing back some talent, athleticism, but you need a guy who I think at that position needs to shoot better. Maybe he will. And then the guy that's the most intriguing out of all of them is the 7'1 center out of Washington, okay? Brandon Miak, or Mia, however you say his name. You watch his film, he dunks the ball.
Yeah.
That's it. He catches alley-oops and dunks the ball. He rebounds, he dunks the ball. Catches passes, dunks the ball. But if he doesn't dunk, he's not a very good shooter. At the rim shooting, he's in the 40%. That is bad. That is really bad.
There's a 7-1, you shoot 40% at the rim.
Should never happen. And the crazy part about it is if you watch his highlights, it's all dunks. And then mixed in there, you'll see about 2 or 3 plays where he loses the ball. Like he hasn't... You know, you've seen centers like this before. Just don't have the best hands. He reminds me of that. A guy that doesn't have the best hands. I think he kind of fits into what Josiah Alec did, where he's a hustler. He's going to rebound for you. He's going to get some finished dunks. But Alec occasionally can shoot a 3. And I don't think this kid's going to be shooting 3s. So that's it. That's their 5. On 3 has their class ranked 7th overall and 3rd in the Big Ten. On the other hand, 24/7 has them 6th in the Big Ten and 38th overall. Look at the difference. 7, 38. Exactly. So somewhere in the middle, it'll probably be there. But let me give you the best list of portal Nebraska guys. Okay? Here's your best list. Chucky Hepburn went to Louisville, 47th ranked guy. St. Thomas went to USC, 61st ranked guy. Frankie Fiddler, Michigan State, was ranked 68th. William Kyle, 122nd, went to UCLA. Those 4 guys all rank higher than anybody Nebraska brought in. They couldn't get in, and they're all from here, and they couldn't get any of them to come here. That just blows my mind. And I know they went to school at Louisville. I've got tons of money. USC, UCLA, I don't know how much money they have in terms of their, but I know Michigan State does. Yeah. And then the last guy would be Arthur Kaluma, by the way. 82nd on the list, leaving Kansas State. I think South Florida's maybe where he's leaning on going. So it's kind of weird to look at that and think those 4 guys, all in the portal, all local dudes, Millard North, Bellevue West, William Kyle went to Central? No.
William Kyle.
I remember him blocking a ton of shots. Where'd he go to school? Okay, and then you got Frankie Fiddler. All these guys, with these rankings, all end up somewhere else. Nebraska couldn't get them. So it's rough to look at, but there's a long way to go before the season starts. But this is what they got. They got a couple of freshmen. They have these 5 guys. You got Bryce Williams. You got who was I was going to say Rick Mass, but he's out now because of the knee. So you look at the team and you wonder. I think they have 6 guys currently under scholarship, and then 5 transfers, and it leaves you a spot.
Are we questioning coach, or is this just a culture thing?
I just don't think it. I think it's the winning thing. I think you have to convince them. And they come here. Yes, we're going to give you nice facilities. We're going to give you some money, but also you're going to win here. And you know a big question all these guys probably have is they all say, "Can you get me to the league?"
Yeah.
You know, all different ways. Obviously, Chucky as a point guard, William Kyle as like a block defense kind of guy. I mean, all of them probably, Fiddler as a swing guy. They probably all say to themselves, "I want to go to the league. Which of these schools, which of these coaches can get me to the league?"
All right, not Nebraska. Then they look at the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and then look at Nebraska. Maybe doesn't fit in that list, and instead, and look at the schools they went to. It's nothing about. Michigan State's a great program.
There's some guys that went to the league from Nebraska.
Oh, sure.
But I feel like when you're like a on the fence guy.
Yeah. Well, look at Roby, who's still playing in the league.
He's good though.
And a second rounder.
I mean, he was really good.
No, and he ended up being a second rounder. I don't think they've had a first rounder since.
I couldn't tell you, bro.
Well, I know that Dave Hoppin was the first round. I know that for a fact. Dave Hoppin. That was the 1981. I don't know who else was a first rounder for them. I don't think Tyronn Lue was Tyronn Lue a first rounder? So Tyronn Lue is one of the best players. See, that's the thing when you start comparing where they go to school.
The greatest Husker ever. Modern day.
The greatest Husker ever. Well, Dan Hoppin is the leading scorer of all time, I believe, in the program's history. Ty Lue gets a lot of talk because of the fact that, we went on to have a really good pro career. Eric Piakowski's probably the best shooter. And Eric might have been a first rounder. That might have been the one I'm missing. But that's kind of your big guys,
I want to see Nebraska's program.
Oh, you know who it is? It's what's his name? No, I completely lost my mind. But yeah, there's not. So it's not like they have a lineage of great basketball that you're gonna sell to somebody.
Yeah, I was saying that I really. This is not like a Nebraska versus Creighton thing.
No. I know.
I really want Nebraska.
Want to see them do well. Exactly. Yeah.
The NCAA tournament was so much more better to watch with both
yeah, it was so disappointing, and it was all about. We talk about this all the time. It's all about the matchup. Yeah. And as soon as I saw A&M and did a little bit of scouting, I was like, no. They don't have the bruz. I remember Cedric in the tip, like, you got a bunch of bruz. Yeah. A&M had a bunch of bruz. Right. Nebraska had some guys that were okay. Like, Alex kind of athletic, but, Rick Mass did not fit in as an athlete. They just didn't have that. No. And you saw it, And then A&M made shots, too, along with being better athletes. So it was a bad matchup, obviously. Right. And then, Creighton to Tennessee matchup, 6 minutes. Right. You have bad 6 minutes, it costs you the chance to get to the Elite Eight. Right. That's all it takes. So we appreciate Ryan Kalkbrenner being on the show. Awesome. And the whole crew that puts this together. It's not just me and Josh, of course. You got King Val Elvis, who is just running stuff. Mac, who came in and fixed the stuff so Val could run the stuff. Right. Meg took a bunch of pictures. We'll put that stuff up as well. And then Christian, the intern, he's going to learn some stuff as well. So we appreciate all them. And, of course, our executive producer, Phil McLean, for getting Ryan in here and putting that together as well. And we always want to thank our presenting sponsor, Bud Light. No matter where you are in town, if you're here at the Let It Fly Sports Bar, if you're in your basement, if you're hanging out in the garage, wherever you are, easy drinking, easy buckets throughout the state of Nebraska. Easy to drink and easy to enjoy. And remember, when you download the podcast, you go to YouTube or any of the spots, like, subscribe, leave notes if you want, say what you think about it. If you don't like the show, that's fine too. Any kind of feedback's a gift. Give it to us. We'll take it. But make sure that you download the podcast, subscribe, and like it and all that as well.